Welcome to the stream, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. We understand there will be a little bit of latency now just as the stream begins to get going, and we're just waiting for everyone to filter in. Thank you for the guys that have been waiting. I can see on my YouTube page that there are guys already waiting for the stream, so thank you so much for that. Really, really appreciate you hanging out and waiting to join. Always nice to know that we've got people here and ready for the stream. So as usual, we will wait for this to pick up and wait for people to join in. If there's any problems with the audio from my side or from Richie's side, again, please let us know about it. We will try and address it throughout the stream. We have had a few drops throughout the last couple of streams, but they have been very, very minor. We are trying to address that. Again, it seems to be a latency issue between Skype, OBS and YouTube, but we'll try our best. It wasn't too bad last time. I think we had about a 1% drop throughout the entire stream, which was about 90 minutes. So guys, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, obviously, like I say, like Tim said, a few guys are queuing up. It's awesome to know you guys have actually either set the reminder or log into this double early. So yeah, we appreciate that. Right, as Tim said, we're getting set up, so we can see things are just starting to settle down. So we're just going to get everything squared away and just move all these millions and millions of windows about.
Yeah, I think that's the worst thing with this is you end up with an absolute ton of windows everywhere, all over it. So
it's crazy.
Richie, you've just closed the chat.
Ah, that's a problem.
Okay, we've lost Richie again. He's cancelled his video, but he should be back with us in a sec. There we go. Richie has returned.
There we go. Right, I have no idea because I did not shut anything down at all. I don't know what happened.
We seem to be all good. So we've got that. Tack belts, thank you so much for joining us, guys. Absolutely blown away by the quality of our patches. Absolutely blown away. So, guys, again, thank you so much for joining us. Looks like the stream has cleared up. We've got over the gremlins. We will be going into a lot of detail tonight on quite a few different things. One of the key things we will be talking about, or Richie will be talking about, is this MOSFET for TMs. I didn't think you was much of a TM fan, to be honest.
No, well, I mean, I wasn't until I got my hands on your 416 and your SCAR and physically tried to break it and couldn't. So when I couldn't physically break it, mate, I was kind of like, all right, maybe there's a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not saying I'm going to be converted, but definitely it wasn't at the time. I was like, no, they're too expensive. They don't have the the reaction times. The trigger response, everything. I was just like, nah. But it's one of those things. The more and more you play with them, the more it grows on you. The more it kind of like it just creeps its way in.
Yeah, I must admit, I was always saw myself as being a fan of someone that's going to have a modified gun. Like I'll go and buy a GMP and then gut it and then rebuild it. And after going through that, we've spoken about it a million times. It's an expensive process. I probably dumped about £450 into the gun, and it just wasn't reliable. It would lock up. I'd have issues with it. I'd have, I had a Gate. What did I have? A Gate Nano, I think it was, and it was the only thing that stopped the gun from being a nightmare. It really was. Res a bit low. You should be able to put it onto 720p. So if you can, Jamie, there's a little cog icon, and you should be able to put it on 720. We are broadcasting in 720, so that should be okay. I do have that setting available on my machine, so you might be able to turn the quality up just by clicking on the cog.
Yeah. See, unfortunately, Jamie, when you get to our age, mate, this things like this technology, mate, it all gets a bit crazy. A bit hazy, a bit of a blur.
Yeah.
Just go to the big buttons, mate. Get the old remote controls with big buttons. You'll be fine.
So, guys, Richie's a bit quiet. I can drive up with Richie's volume. Let me know if that's helped, guys.
I wouldn't do that. I'm annoying as fuck. I wouldn't do that.
He is annoying as fuck. He's not even drinking yet.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to let everyone know that normally I do these sober, but tonight I'm not. So if I say loads of offensive things about Octo 8, it was not me, it's the gin. If you're a fan of their events,
mate, the fallout from your last comment is just, we're still bearing the brunt of that.
We are a little bit, but just to let all of you know, we have passed 200,000 minutes watched in the last 28 days. I can't tell you how many days that is of someone continually watching me and Richie talk shit, but it's a few. Yeah. It's a fair few. So we are over 200,000 minutes. Thank you very much, Octo 8, for all of your love and support. So it looks like we've got all of the usual suspects in here. Really, really excited to have you all here. Guys, massively appreciate this. And Wigsper's back, Scout Recon, Jamie, Hobbit, iBrander, Jamie, Daniele, sorry, my bad. Daniele, my Italian brother. Anton, Nathan, all you guys, thank you so much for joining us. Brooksy, we knew that there was going to be all the usual. Apex Predators, what's going on, guys? I'm going to hand over to Richie and let him take you through some information on this on this recoil. If I disappear out of frame, I've gone to get gin. Please understand that I am an addict.
Yeah, awesome. So, guys, obviously, a massive, huge thanks to everyone that's joined in. Like Tim said, all the usual suspects. Just first of all, I want to give a massive shout out to Tack Belts. Obviously, I know a lot of guys on our recommendation alone went out, hit him up, got some patches, and I hope you guys are over the moon because obviously, we banged on about it. The quality of our patches were awesome. But obviously, don't forget, guys, with Tack Belts, it's not just patches. We got Peltor headband covers. We got suppressor covers in multicam black, which I know Tim's got a bit of a fetish for. Dark, just like his soul. But yeah, so, if you want anything else like that or anything custom made, if there's anything you think that you might need custom making, hit up Tack Belts UK because this guy, he's got wizard fingers. There's something, I doubt there's anything he cannot do or cannot make. So just moving on. All of you know, or some of you know, if you follow my Insta, Tim's Insta, the Heresy page, we went to IWA. We met a few, really cool guys there, some good meetings, but also we went there to catch up with some contacts that we've been in contact with for a few months behind the scenes. Now, we caught up with the guys from Turny Soft Air, who were in the chat, Jamie Britt and Daniele, two really cool, really clued up, very friendly guys. Now, we've been in chats with them, but not necessarily about this product. Lo and behold, they presented us with this prototype control unit. Now, obviously, for those of you that know, obviously a bit more than I do, I was never a huge TM fan until Tim, this idiot, came along. So those of you that want a bit more, and those of you who don't want it, standing out the box, you've really got one choice, I believe. The BTC Spectre. Now, so yeah, unless there's another control unit for TMs, proprietary to TMs, I don't know of. I'm sure it's only one. If you do know, stick it in the comments and please correct me because I'm an idiot. So these guys, Turny Soft Air, they've been working behind the scenes for about 10 months doing, R&D, sorting out, trying to get this idea, this project together. Now, this control unit, so it really fills a gap in the market. And for me, being an absolute gear upgrade whore, the first thing I want to know is, what does it do? What's it capable of? Is it going to keep up with all the others? And the answers that I got from both of them were yes, and yes. All of the above. Now, just to run through, obviously this is a bit of paper they kindly give us, the Mark Zero. So prototype Airsoft concepts and Turny Soft Air. So down to the real nitty gritty of this thing. What does it do? Now, let's face it. Most of the stuff that the control units out there on the market at the moment, there's a very, very high bar to be set for a lot of these. Things like active braking, burst mode, cycle detection, gear detection, pre-cocking. All this is totally configurable by the Mark Zero control unit. Now, we had a lot of questions about guys who are after these. As soon as we put the posts up from IWA, I believe Jamie Britt said in the UK we're looking at about the 16th of this month for the first install. I know Tim has got one as well. Whether he'll fit it or not is another matter. I don't know. What do you reckon, Tim? Do you reckon you'll be persuaded?
Yeah, I think so. It's been one of them things, like it's been a slow creep. I love the way my 416 performs. At the same time, me and Jamie were drinking 1 or 2 gins, and he was really selling me the hard benefits of the MOSFET, the better battery consumption, the responsiveness, the way that the circuit, that the current is handled by the MOSFET, and the way that can impact the usage of the motor, the longevity of the guns, the stress on the gears.
Yeah.
There's a lot in the fact that it can do a lot of preventative measures to prolong the life of the gun. For me, that's something that's worth looking at. I love my 416. As you guys know, I have my guns in my office. I spend a lot of time in here throughout the day, and they constantly look at me and whisper sweet nothings to me, sing me Adele and all that sort of thing. But the 416 has definitely had a step away from my heart. For some reason, I don't know what it is, I'm just not in love with it. So I'm thinking, with the MOSFET, with some of the other upgrades that are recommended by Jamie and Daniele, I think it could definitely take pride of place back in my heart again. And I want it to, because I love using the gun. So for me, it's definitely something that I've been, 1, pressured into because Jamie's taller than me, and 2, for the performance factor that me and Richie talk about a hell of a lot. Yeah. It's definitely beginning to push further and further on my mind. By no means am I saying that you need to upgrade your TM, but I just am at that stage where I think, do you know what? To make me fall back in love with it again, if it means putting this MOSFET in, then yeah, I definitely could be persuaded.
Yeah, I think so. I just want fancy getting a show of hands. So guys, if you're watching the stream and you have a TM and you have a BTC Spectre or any other kind of MOSFET control unit, could you just hit it up in the comments? Just let me know what you're using, what you've got in your guns. Like Tim said, that a lot of these control units / MOSFETs, they're the bar is pretty high now for what people are demanding out of a gun when you upgrade this. So let's face it, a lot of it is going to be pretty much the same. Like Tim said, you're going to have your battery protection, your low battery warning. You're going to have an electronic fuse. Like I say, active braking, gear detection. I don't know if the Spectre has the rate of fire control and stabilisation. For me, on the Gate Titan, that's quite a nice little feature there. But again, like the Gate, this one is fully programmable. The instruction manual, it's all there, exactly how to program. But yeah, so let's face it, the list of configurable options on this is huge, absolutely huge. So why would you put this above, say, a BT6 Spectre? Well, I'm going to say 2 reasons. One, if this Mark Zero control unit breaks or stops working because a production or a manufacturing fault, you're not going to have to take it out, box it up, post it, they'll look at it, and then 3 weeks later, you via postage, you'll get it back. Absolutely not. You ring up your distributor, whether that's Camo Rays in the UK or wherever you are in Europe. Ring them up. You send your control unit to them. Once they've verified that it is a production or manufacturing fault, they'll just send you a new one. You haven't got to mess about waiting. They'll just send you a new one. That's an awesome part. Secondly, the fact that the Mark Zero control unit will be produced. It's not in batches. I've already spoke to the guys. They've got a huge stock already lined up, ready to go out the door. So yeah, it's going to be. There's none of this. Produce a batch of 20, and then some idiot buys like half of those, and keeps them to themselves. They're going to be constantly available, which I think if that was a lot of problems guys were having. They couldn't get the BTC Spectres. So for me, that's two big reasons. It's just availability. I think like Jamie says, every unit has its own serial number. If you're jamming motherfuckers like me and Tim, we actually have our names scribed on the back of the unit, which is pretty awesome. Super chuffed about that. But yeah, so obviously just read some of these comments real quick. Can we sign up for the first release? I don't know about signing up, but if you hit up, speak to Camo Raids like now, like literally right now, get them out of bed.
Merrick won't mind.
After one, I don't know if you can pre-order, but if you show interest, I'm sure he may be able to hook you up. He's a very cool guy. He'll be able to sort you out.
Yeah, Merrick won't mind if you want to message him at 2-3 in the morning. Say the Heresy group sent you about the new MOSFETs that he hasn't got his hands on yet. Then that's definitely one way of looking at it. I mean, again, for me, guys said you can use other upgrades and stuff. The battery, the battery life, the capability of extending that battery life is always something I'm concerned of. People asking about Milsims. Me and Richie have been at events where Friday lunchtime, realistically, we're taking our guns out with batteries in, and then they're being used until Sunday afternoon in some cases. So, obviously it's not one battery, but if that battery's in there and it's not being used, you want the MOSFET to stop the current from cycling around the gun and being actively sat at the motor. If it can do that, then, you've got very, very little discharge on the battery, which means it's going to last longer. And in that case, the fact that you're not putting as much hard usage on the battery is also going to help in the way that you're going to get more life out of your batteries, or like less cycles of recharge. So, for me, I just, it's got a lot of sell points. Also, I am a bit of a nerd when it comes to customization, things like active braking, pre-cocking, all those sorts of features that it offers. For me, just to be able to have the gun pre-cocked and drop that trigger on someone and just have that split second to just be able to whack a BB in. I'm no CQB master by any means, but I've been in some quite tight situations. One of the first times I ever was at the real front of a stack of a lot of guys was with Richie at Stanta, and had some opportunities to just really get the jump on people using the MV, and it was that split second moment of just peeking out and going whack and hitting someone. It's that capability that I want, that instant sort of fire. So, for me, there's a hell of a lot of promises and pluses to having this platform. Also, I know two people that have got Spectres, and I know one of them paid an absolute fortune for one. Predator, I love you to bits, but you spend way too much money on kit. I've just seen the super chat from Brooksy. I love you so much more because you have an epic beard. So guys, we were talking about how to use the super chat effectively, and this, my friends, is exactly how it's done.
He fucking nailed that one. I can tell you that for nothing, mate.
Brooksy, you, sir, deserve one of these.
Amazing.
That guys, is how you use a super chat. Incredible effort.
Yeah.
Incredible effort. So yeah, there's just a lot of bonuses to it. The BTC can be a nightmare to get hold of. They had very, very little, if any at all, customer service, and yeah, there's a few negatives there. I know they work well. I know a lot of people vouch for them, but at the end of the day, I know someone that's paid like what £250 for his just to get hold of one.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, price wise, I don't know if Jamie
or Daniele, if you can
just
jump in there on a price.
Ballpark figure, perhaps in euros on that, maybe.
Jamie said Merrick is the man. There's very few. You'll get to learn any of the guys that that do this with us and that go through this journey. That we tend to work with companies with good customer service. If any of you guys have been around my channel for a long period of time, you'll hear me talk about customer service from the very early days of my videos, my first dealings with Tactical Kit, UK Tactical and Tactical Kit, all the way through to now. Good customer service is the one thing that makes me go back and spend money. Merrick at Camo, the whole reason why I bought from him and backed him and we promote him and push him and talk about his business so much is because his customer service is fucking ridiculous.
Outstanding, yeah.
I message him at in the evening, in the morning. What's this like? What's this? How's this work? Tell me about this. And I just pestered the shit out of him before I bought my 416. And it was incredible, absolutely incredible. What a fan! Really, really, really great guy for just dealing with all of the questions and everything. And also, I've seen his customer service. I've seen people return things to him. I've seen him service people guns. I've seen the work that he does. I have my gun sat in front of me that he serviced and put back together for me, got it back to me within minimum time, considering, and this isn't any offence at Kingdom. Don't get pissed off with me. I love you guys to bits. It's amazing what you do. But to pay £200 extra just to get you to see my gun within 3 weeks, in my opinion, is a bit of a joke. I understand you're that busy, but that's so much dough.
Yeah. Just real quickly, so
Hobbit paid 200 for a MOSFET.
Johnny Duncan, we were actually talking about this. This is the Mark Zero control unit from Prototype Airsoft Concepts. Now, this is proprietary to TM recoils. So if you have a TM recoil and you're not a little sissy boy like Tim, and you like to upgrade your guns to a man's gun, this will be for you. Packed full of features, fully configurable. A ton of cool features in here. And as I saw in the chat, even if your retailer decide to put an insane markup on that, Jamie Britt's saying around 120. Even if they put an insane markup and you said it was £150, you're still £50 cheaper than the BTC Spectre, and it will be available all year round, not just for 1 month out of 12. I'm not dissing the BTC Spectre.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Yeah, no, they're awesome.
I know people that have waited for them for like 6 months. Just to address some of the questions as well while we're going. Hobbit, good to have you here. GR Tomcat, Jamie, Brooksy, Johnny Duncan, Fiendish, Scout Recon, all of my brothers. Thank you, and sisters. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Hobbit paid 200 for the MOSFET. So
good garlic bread, by the way.
Good work on the bread. Johnny Duncan, we're talking about the Zero MOSFET. Guys thinking about buying a Warrior Recon plate carrier, is it good? GR Tomcat, yeah, they're really good. I ran one for about 3 years, stitched incredibly well. If you've got a smaller frame, they work incredibly well. They fit really well. They're a nice tight cut, as well as having like stiff laddered side bands. They work, well. You've got the molly front and back. For me, if you're looking for a step up from early or low end kit, it's a really good mid tier plate carrier. They're super cheap as well. You can pick them up for next to nothing. So yeah, in my opinion, yeah, the recon plate carrier is good. If you're a big guy, if you're a really tall guy, if you're carrying a lot of weight, then definitely not the plate carrier to go for. They definitely tailor to a smaller framed person. So just bear that in mind. They're not the biggest of plate carriers. Richie, one for you. Scar H mags. What pouches do they fit?
What pouches do they fit? Well, it really depends what plate carrier you're running. If you're running a plate carrier that is capable of having like a kangaroo insert, so you can Velcro forward, the kangaroo pouch fits in. LBT do a nice one, but it's only it's 2 mags. That being said, I run the Spirit Systems, the Microfight chest rig. That is an awesome bit of kit. You can fit your Scar Heavy mags. You can fit M4 mags. I run my MP7 this weekend. That takes 4 MP7 mags. Incredible bit of kit. So, and that is available as a chest rig, or you can attach it to a plate carrier. So very versatile. So yeah, if you want something to carry 7.62 mag, Spirit Systems, Microfight, you hit up the guys at Tactical Kit for that. Ian will sort you out, definitely. Just going back to the Mark Zero control unit, I saw there Hobbit was saying, insane amounts of money pumped into the gun, clean this out performance. Would be really cool if we could hook up or let us know how you get on with that. Would be really interesting to see how that compares to this Mark Zero. To see sort of the pros, cons, how they come together. And also, not that I'm digging the Spectre out again, but like Jamie Britt just corrected me there. So the Mark Zero actually has a warranty of 2 years. So 2 years manufacturer's warranty, whereas the Spectre has 0. So that's a good thing to bear in mind, especially when you're paying over or around about the £200 mark, whereas obviously the Mark Zero is going to be a good £50 minimum under that.
Yeah, I actually spoke to Hobbit. It was a while back now, but I'm going to have a blast on the TM Grey Slate. So looking forward to have a go at that. I mean, like I say, there's been a lot of money pumped into that gun. So really interested in seeing how that shoots. If you get people saying about Camo and Merrick and about his service and stuff, I'm not going to lie, guys. There is hundreds of people that I've spoke to that have had really good service from him. I don't think I've come across someone that's been pissed off with him, which is very, very difficult to say about anyone in the airsoft market, any shop at all. So I do really vouch for him. Absolutely fantastic guy. And he's really passionate about airsoft. Like, he loves airsoft as well, which is cool. Someone asked about, do I buy a new AEG for CQB or change the system inside my AEG to a fast change spring? GR Tomcat, if you're using, I mean, for me, a CQB weapon is something that's compact. But at the same time, there's not that much between my Scar and my 416, and I class my 416 as my CQB weapon. So I don't know. If you're on about power, we run to UK limits of 320 FPS. I know that's being converted to joules and stuff, and that might vary a little bit, but so I presume that both guns are going to be at that mark. So I'm not sure. If I was you, just make sure whatever your CQB AG is, it's just compact, easy to manipulate, and something you can shoot with left and right hand. I think that's the biggest thing for me in CQB was learning to work well with another individual, and also being able to shoot both left and right handed. And it took me a long time to get it right. It really did.
So I think like Tim said, if so there's 2 options. But so if you're talking about power wise, yes, you can perhaps get a second gun with a lower FPS, but I can't really see why you do that unless you're at a specific site with, say, sub 330 rules. Very rare, a bit weird. Just don't be gay. Or you could. I know the Spectre arms in there. I think it's the Edge range with a quick change spring. That's also an option.
Yeah, they're not out yet. The edges, the edges are waiting for release. But I think some of the other Spectres do have quick change, but not the same system. Not that push and twist. You have to unscrew it.
I think it's the core, isn't it? That has a quick change spring as well.
Maybe so. Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, but yeah. That being said, if you're talking about a physical CQB weapon, what Tim said, something nice, short, manoeuvrable. That being said, I've done CQB with my broomstick, with my Violator mop up there. You know, it's just about handling the weapon, you know, over the shoulder and stuff. But yeah, 06 Hobbit, I am a CQB weapon. This is true. I've seen that in action. Just like a little miniature flashbang, just roll it up, throw it in. Big boys everywhere.
And she destroys everyone.
Yeah.
So, more questions. Still old Warrior Assault System shooter plate. Haven't worn it in a while. Someone said MP7. Do you know what? I saw a very effective MP7 being used at the weekend. I won't say who was using it because it was annoyingly Ali, the sort of shots that he was getting. Always jars me. But yeah, no, on a serious note, me and Richie obviously went out for a shoot at the weekend, and Richie brought out the MP7, and it just is a phenomenal weapon. One of the things that I did notice was a very flat trajectory from the BBs, and landing some incredible shots. I mean, me and Richie were at the front of the stack having a bit of a tear up. John will probably jump in on that as well. We did push pretty hard on the weekend and trying to really force the enemies out of their fobs. But yeah, MP7 was badass. Definitely have one on the list. Merrick, if you are in this or going to watch it at some point, just add it to my shopping list.
Yeah, I think, like I say, you know, so bearing in mind with that MP7, it's sat in my loft. I haven't picked it up in, I'm going to say, over a year and a half. So that it's not been oiled, it's not been greased, it's not been cleaned. I just threw it in the box as a backup, you know. I've decided to run it out, and yeah, like Tim said, you know, no leaky mags. You know, everything run fine. The rounds were flat on a .25, and to the point where I think me and this sniper were having a bit of an exchange. Obviously, my rounds were dropping a little bit short, but you know, when you get close enough, it's still effective. And yeah, so I think definitely got a place in Tim's heart and also his wallet.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see that. Azrael Sutcliffe, it was a TM, mate. Tokyo Marui MP7, almost as old as I am, believe it or not.
So I'm a bit further up the comments from you. So Tim, do you run weighted plates in game as well as you do fitness? No, I haven't run plates in game. I am going to be changing the plates out. So I've got some bits coming from HR4K, or we're going to go and pick them up, one of the two. I've got some new plates. They've made for me, so a massive thank you to Ben and the guys down at HR4K. I've got some heavier plates coming, but no, I probably wouldn't run them in game. I do know two people that have run weighted plates in game, and I just don't see the point personally. I really don't. There's no more immersion from carrying more weight. So I don't know, if I went to Otterburn maybe, or somewhere like the trees, I might do it just to see how I get on, but I have no interest in kind of running plates.
That's what would happen. We'd die.
Yeah, I think in the trees I'd die, especially without the bikes.
Those hills are ridiculous.
Oh mate, that last one, I got to the top of it and I was like, where the fuck is everyone else? It was gnarly. Got to the top when just saw Matt sat there eating chilies out of a jar. It was quite surreal. Okay, I run ESS Kiwis. Yeah, ESS Kiwis are being used by my boyfriend, Lucas, over at T-Rex Arms. He raves about them.
I thought, for a second I went, I don't run them.
Lucky Ellen's not here, mate. She'd be grilling us.
Yeah.
So yeah, massive fan of Kiwis. I reviewed them on the channel years back. But yeah, if you want to go and check out the review, they're very, very good pouches. Okay, so Johnny Duncan's asking Jamie or Daniele, you know, he's got a 416, sell it to him. Sell him the benefits of the of the MOSFET. Obviously, we've been over it. There's a ton of benefits that you're going to get. I'm not a massive fan of upgrading guns. Better battery life, better wear on the gears, faster response, pre-cocking, adjustable rates of fire, so you can have a burst mode and all them types of fancy things. There's a million different things on this MOSFET that you can adjust. For me, the big thing is reservation of the battery life and preservation of it, so that it's not actively cycling current all the time, and also pre-cocking. So, it's pre-cocked, you're just going to tip, and it's ready to fire, which I love the idea of.
No trigger burnout. You're not going to worry about burnout triggers. It comes with a 2-year warranty. Price is good. They'll be available all the time. Again, completely user configurable, so you can program it yourself exactly to your shooter's needs. If you want 1 round, 3 round bursts, etc., you can run all that.
Right, guys, just bouncing through these comments again. Would be spot on for the Scar H from Buck Todgers. Sorry, guys, if I'm a little bit behind. Bang on, I think, for the Scar is it would be awesome, especially if you're running that that higher FPS. Tim, it's time to get STM CQBR. Yes, I've already spoke to Merrick about it. A lot of people have told me about the CQBR, and also I don't like the weight of the 416, so maybe I might. Yeah, I think we're just going to end up with a bit of a TM armory. That's what I can see happening. That or Merrick will just let us go there and steal guns. Thanks, Merrick. I picked up a TM yesterday, CQBR for CQB. Ezreal. Hopefully that's right. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong and butchering that, but again, CQBR for that would be bang on the biz. Marui is. I've got one of them. Remember,
it's massive.
Is the Maul like 320 FPS? Yeah, the Maul is 340 max. Adam Kickboy, thanks for the super message. For the super chat, it says, what's better for Milsims, HK416C or Scar CQC? For me, in my opinion, they're both very similar. They're going to perform similar. They're going to have a very similar gearboxing. So you're going to be at 300 FPS with both. I like the idea of the CQC because of the collapsible stock. And if you needed to run it like an MP5 or an MP7 where it's really collapsed into the body, then you could do that. The Scar CQC is a much bigger platform. It's much longer. You've got less adjustment with the stock in the way that it's a fixed stock. Once that's swung out, you've got quite a long gun. Personally, I favour the Scar platform at the moment.
I was just going to say, yeah.
Me and Richie are both Scar whores. I don't know where it came from, but I'm a massive, massive fan of the Scar platform. So I would say the CQC. In my opinion, performance-wise, Adam, they're going to perform very, very similar. So I would pick the one you like the look of best. That's what I would go for, because they're both 300 FPS, they're both TM, they take 416 or M4 proprietary magazines. So
and I think for me, like I say, the only reason, like Tim said, I would maybe lean towards the Scar other than the CQBR is because of looks, and 2, it's that for me it's the cheek weld. It's how it's got such a thin body. It's how it sits against your face and your body. I just prefer the Scar platform for that. So when you're pine corners, you're cutting edges, you're swapping, I find the Scar it feels better.
Yeah. Adam, if you want to be sold on Scars, there is a 20-minute video of me and Richie purely spending the whole 20 minutes talking about how much we love Scars. It's back on the channel. Get yourself a beer and a bag of crisps. It's 20 minutes long. Sit and watch that. I'm sure that you'll pick the CQC after it. We go over all of the positives, not just our personal preference, but things like ergonomics, the fact that it's got ambidextrous mag release, ambidextrous fire selector. It's a much thinner, narrower body, which means that if you're doing very tight work, you can bring it in super tight to the body and very, very flat. If you are in a stack, if you're doing tight CQB work, even to that, you can very quickly manipulate the weapon because of the polymer upper. It doesn't have much drag. It's not like you're swinging around a heavy weapon at the front. So there's a lot of positives to the Scar. We must stop talking about Scars. People are going to hate us.
Just quickly, Zeus Raid said contacts can be uncomfortable after a while. Can you suggest a way to get around it? Depends how they're uncomfortable. If you're talking about the headband, hit up Tack Belts UK. They do a really nice, comfy, fully padded Peltor headband cover, and the padding is really thick on that. It's quite comfy. If you're talking about the ears, like around here, because I've noticed that as well, you're not really going to get around that. Short of perhaps ditching if you're wearing like sunnies, like with arms that go behind your ears, ditch them. Maybe got goggles. So you're not pressing the arm of your iPro against your head. Or if you want to try the Earmores, try the Earmore headsets. One of the pluses I found of them over Peltors, contacts, etc., was the cushioning. The cushioning on the headsets were much softer, much more supple. I think I wore them for a full day, and it was absolutely fine. No aches, no pains, nothing digging in. So yeah, just worth a shot. Boom.
Yeah.
There we go.
So yeah, that they've got a very soft rubber cup that isn't like leatherish, so that if you sweat or anything, it's not going to cause you any irritation or rubbing. The actual ear recessed area is quite big as well, and they're a very soft sponge. I don't know if you can see sort of the rebound on this as well. They're really comfortable. They're almost like memory foam in there. I personally am not a fan of having anything over my ears or next to my head. It comes back to my sniping days. Of when I started Airsoft, I could never get that cheek weld. I could never have anything over my ears, so I would always be laid down or at some weird angle for shooting. So this is the first real headset that I've really found quite comfortable. I use in-ear comms. Ray Cow's, Richie runs them. There's a few guys in our little unit that run them. They've become increasingly popular. I know Scout Recon's had to leave, but he's running Ray Cow's now. There's a lot of other guys jumping over to in-ears. They are extremely comfortable. They cut out a lot of noise, and I've had to do that because of obviously hearing protection as well. The in-ear hearing protection does work incredibly well.
Yeah.
Wow, there's so many comments. Sorry, guys, we are slowly catching up.
Another thing I did notice about those Earmore, which were different, obviously, if you imagine the contacts and Peltors, they're just like an oval shape, whereas those Earmores, I don't know if you still got them there, Tim, they've got a slight angle to them, so they're wider. They've become wider at the bottom, so your ear, rather than partially, like me, if you've got fucking Vulcan ears like me, my ear doesn't fully fit inside them, whereas that, it's a bit wider at the bottom, so you tend to fit your ear inside the cushion piece. Whereas Buck Todgers comes question: UV5 art Earmore, should I be getting side tone on TX? Transmission, what do you mean side tone, Buck? Can you define side tone for me? I'm not quite sure what you mean there, mate.
Okay, Tomcat, I want to make an AG that has good accuracy and can hit an opponent at a distance of 70 metres. I think I need to change everything inside to make it stronger. The ability to play in CQB in woodlands only by changing the spring. If you want 70 metre range, there's a few things that you're going to need. One is a really good air seal, because that will help. And also a really good air seal will obviously give you the maximum amount of airflow or cubic airflow through to the back of the BB. A good hop unit and a good barrel is all you need. Yeah. Don't worry about the turnover speed, the cycle, high torque motors, anything. You are trying to drive as much air out of that compressed state inside that piston forward. So air seal is massively, massively important. 70 metres out of an AEG would be difficult unless you've got something with a very, very long barrel and a very, very consistent and high pressured airflow.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not saying it can't be done, but 70 metres is a long way for an AEG. Coming from someone that literally I spent 3 years, I didn't even own an AEG, just playing with a sniper rifle. 70 metres is a long way for even sniper rifles. Yes, you can get them. There's a lot of complications with going over 70 metres, especially with a very small light projectile. I have engaged a lot over that and around that, but 70 metres is a long way. I think 70 metres is very much an underestimated figure. I think if you counted out 50 metres and put someone 50 metres away from you, you'd realise how far it is. It's very easy to exaggerate that figure, but it can be done. But I'd be looking at things like air seal, really good good hop up rubber. I wouldn't go down the route of R hops and stuff like that. They're too soft. You're probably going to need some high FPS for that as well, maybe to get the BB out there. Don't worry about weight of BBs. 2.5s, 2.8s would probably be good enough.
Three's maximum, yeah.
Yeah, 3's max. Any more than that, you're going to be falling short.
Yeah. Just going to quickly catch up with this chat with Buck. Where is it? Just catch up. Sorry, guys, just catch up with some of this chat. Buck, when you say you're hearing your voice through, yeah, like Jamie said, are you using the Earmore PTT? Also, what you might find, mate, is if you've got your radio turned up quite loud, because unfortunately the ambient mics on the Earmores are very good. It might just be picking up your voice through the ambient mics. So just maybe try turning the radio down a bit, or yeah, it might. If you've not got the proprietary PTT, it may be that, mate. Just a couple of suggestions.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the proprietary PTT is. Richie, what's the word? It's got a capacitor in it. Is it a capacitor? What's it called?
Oh, a resistor.
A resistor, that's the kiddie. So you might find, because it's not the proprietary one, because of the resistor, you might be getting some feedback through the contacts, because obviously there is a charge going down to the PTT, or there's current running through there, so it might.
Yeah, you know the small voltage, which is like mic plus, isn't it? Mic plus voltage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it might be that. CB Scotland, do you run fake plates to keep your carrier rigid? Yes, I do. I run some fake plates in there that keep it nice and stiff.
I actually run on my what's the other plate carrier I've got? I can't even think of it.
Moa.
Anyway, on my other plate carrier, I run plates front, back, and side. I've got six sides as well, just to keep it all in place. Makes a big difference.
Wow. Right, I'm just trying to keep up with this. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Lacquer by the previous owner. Tim, what kind of sling do you prefer on the 416? A single or 2-point? For my 416 at the weekend, I actually ran it on. Oh no, I didn't. I was going to run it on a Magpul MS2 in a single point configuration. So over my shoulder and down underneath, and then off on one. And I actually didn't end up running it on a sling at all. But for the 416, I do prefer a single point sling. Now, that's purely because the weapon's so short, and also because of naturally on the 416 there is only one sling point unless you add a second. So that's the main reason for it. It's only because I didn't want to add rail mounted sling point, so I always ran it on a single. And I also run the Warrior over the shoulder single for donkey's years, and never really had a problem with it because I used to unclip it and run it without a sling completely. So, and if we were going into CQB, I'd clip it in, run it, and if I needed to quickly drop it and go to pistol or whatever, then I could do that. But I think if I was to run the 416 more, to be honest, I haven't used it in months. Prior to this weekend, I don't remember the last time I used it. It was Legion. November last? When was Legion, Richie?
Oh, wow.
Last year?
Early last year, I believe.
Yeah, so there you go. I haven't used it for forever. I used the Scar, and on the Scar I used a 2-point sling. I was using the Ferro. No, it's not. The Blue Force Gear Vickers, the most expensive sling in the world. But I don't use that anymore. I use the Claw Gear Quick Hook Sling, which is very, very, very good.
Yeah.
If I was using the 416 now, probably a 2-point sling, but I don't use it that much. But a single does work well with it if you don't want to add any more accessories to it.
Yeah, I mean, like for instance, so I always run a 2-point. I run the Ferro Slingster. Before that, I did have a Vickers 2-point, an old school one. Now, I've tried single points. I ran single points for years. I had nothing but problems, But this is where you get two different points of view. Tim has this point of view. It's wrong, but he has a point of view.
Thanks, mate.
But it's good. We're not just punching one product. He has his preferred products. I have mine. So for me, 2 points are great. However, where I changed the upper on my M4, I left the front sling point on my short upper, which I forgot. So therefore, I couldn't run the sling. So that is a down point having 2-point slings. If your weapon doesn't have that front sling point, you have to buy another one. So yeah, that is the downside, I would say.
Yeah, again, guys, I mean, this is the most tricky thing that I think we get asked the most. And there's like people come to us for advice or want to know what we run, so on and so forth. The hardest thing is like gun setup, positioning, loadout, plate carriers, gear that we prefer. Everything is so personal. You know, kit that fits me, that might be great for me, might not fit Richie well, or Richie's going to love it and I'm going to hate it. There might be material differences. There may be slight fit that's going to work with his body better than mine. The same with gun length, width, grip. And this is why guns in the market today are so customizable. You can get longer grips, short grips, narrower grips. You can get soft triggers. You know, you can get full retention triggers. You can get ones with a real hard degree of pull. You can get ones with less degree. You can get a flat trigger. You can get curved trigger. There is so much customization because everyone is a different animal. And as much as, you know, we've spoke about what we would recommend and platforms that we do like, it definitely doesn't mean that Jamie or Scout or Johnny is going to go and pick up a SCAR and go, oh mate, this is for me. That it's so personalised, and also
look at your SCAR. You know, you run an AFG on yours.
Yeah,
I can't stand AFGs.
I know you hate them.
Hate them. You know, but then obviously I like to run real short, stubby foregrips. You know, on mine as not necessarily not to hold, but it's just a reference point for the first two fingers.
Yeah.
And then the rest of my fingers go around the barrel and for the peck. You know.
See, I have to run my hand flat at the front, so I can't run it like this, you know, as a grip on something. And I tried it before with when I got my Dev Brew, it comes with a post grip. Do you know what I mean? And I just couldn't. I found it so weird having my fist like this. I just wanted my hand to be flat. I don't know. It's more personalisation, and it's more being comfortable with something. Now, yes, you can all be forced down a road of picking up a weapon and using it and having to use it and be comfortable with it. Like, you know, when everyone gets handed an SA-80 or whatever, or an M4 and they go, right, that's it, go out and use it. People will get proficient with it. But over long periods of time, and also if you spend a lot of time doing weapons manipulation, you find where, you know, one Picatinny row back to a lot of people means nothing. I mean, it's 7.5 mil, something like that. It works centre to centre. To some people, that's nothing. To me, if I move it slightly forward, I run my grip in between my fingers. So if it's slightly forward, I can feel it. I know that there's a difference. And I've got to that point with, especially with the SCAR, that if the stock's on 4 and not 5, I know it's different. It's very much just, you know, muscle memory and just getting used to having the weapon in your hand. It's crazy, but for everyone, it's going to be different.
I think like, you know, like Try Hard Raven says, hand stops are the way to go. See, I mean, I like the idea of hand stops. I actually use my the foregrip on mine as more of a hand stop than anything else. You know, just with 2 fingers, rest up against it.
Yeah.
But then obviously it's also there as an option. Sometimes obviously when you see clamp a rifle, like at the weekend when you're posted up on a bit of hard cover, like a tree or something, so you rest your hand against the hard cover and your thumb is under the you know, your rail, but up against the hand stop. You know, you lose that movement front to back. You lose lateral movement. You know, it's just a real good just to have that stop, like the hand stop, or the full grip as a a multi-axis stabilizer. It, you know, makes a big difference. But again, that's, you know, that's what I prefer. So it's good to get different points of view, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and this is the other thing, is that everyone is going to prefer something different. You know, there's people out there that like AUGs, there's guys out there that like FAMASs and all these other fucking ugly, horrendous guns. But people do like them, and you know, that's the kind of the beauty of the firearms industry.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna bounce through. I'm super behind on the comments.
Yeah.
TM TM won't be used in game. If you're looking to run a lighter TM, happy to loan you her for the weekend. I'm running as a team gunner for the whole weekend, so the offer's there. Hobbit, that is super, super nice of you. I will probably be binning all of them and running my Scar because it's my nighttime gun. I don't know why, it's just, it's got that attachment. But Hobbit, I will definitely take you up on having a shoot up for it for sure. Someone saying about ear cups, Pelt or gel ear cups are really good. Earmore, I've worn them 98 hours. Damn, dude. Yeah, it's a long time to have them on.
That's a long time. I saw their Zeus raids starting to play longer Milsims, and noticed Bergens are becoming more concurrent on kit lists. Which would you suggest and why? First of all,
good question.
Any Milsim, you need to have a Bergen. I can guarantee that you will need a Bergen. Recommendations, me personally, I would say, depending on the length of Milsim and how much kit you need to take, whether it's hard routine, whether you're in a building, really, Bergens are only really good for hard routine if you're on the ground, taking all the kit on the ground. Otherwise, just use a 3-day pack. For me, I have used and would rave about, I've used for years and rave about the Warrior Assault Systems BMF.
Yeah, it's a monster of a pack.
It's a house of it. It's a unit. You know what I mean? This thing is massive. There's not a lot you won't fit in that. Now, if you want something not as bulky, a bit more of a traditional Bergen, I believe, Tim, you've got the X300, haven't you?
No, I've got... Oh,
you was looking at it.
I want the X300.
Okay.
So yeah, if Adam, oh, my brains. If any of the guys from Warrior check out this, I want an X300. I've got the Predator pack, which is the next one down. But yeah, the X300, they're not cheap, but they're a very, very good pack, and they're sort of in between size. Yeah. So yeah, they are good. There's the thing with Bergens is that if you can get a black or like an OD one, you can go into all of the mountaineering brands, and there's millions of them. You know, you don't have to look for a military, as it were, Bergen. There's Bergens out there for all sorts of things.
Well, yes, you are correct. Don't just go military, that'll be fine. Because there's companies like Miltech, etc., which I wouldn't touch with a barge pole. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, you just got to be a bit careful with some of because the commercial civilian brands are more readily available. They tend to just, there's more chance for a bad egg. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I just, again, go with a decent brand. Get one that's going to last you forever. Personally, Warrior do some really good packs. I know loads of guys that run BMFs. I know loads of guys that run X300s. Don't really see much else out on the ground unless they're like a mountaineering pack. But they do some good bags. And with the amount that UK Tactical do offers, with 10% off, 20% off and all that bullshit, wait a couple of weeks, couple of months, a month max, you'll see, sign up to their newsletter, you'll get some offer come through, discount code, and there you go. So, I mean, that's something that definitely is worth having a look at. So, sorry guys, just going to catch up. Trashy, how about doing a video on your Raycal com setup? I can, for sure. It's something I've been asked about a hell of a lot. But yeah, you can definitely do it on that. If you want instructions on how to build it, you need to be fairly hands-on and good with a soldering iron. But I can give you the diagram if you want it. If you do want that, message us on Facebook. Just do a DM to the Facebook page, say you want the diagram, and we'll send it over to you. That's no problem. Someone was asking about the training. We'll bounce through these questions and then we will talk about it. I know it's been asked a couple of times. I would like to come to the UK and play Airsoft. I saw you have some awesome places. GR Tomcat, we do have some really good places. I recommend you come over here and do a Sterling weekender. At any of the events through Sterling is what I would recommend going to. If you want something a little bit more light-hearted, you can have a look at the Legion stuff. But if you want a really in-depth, gritty Milsim, then definitely come and check out one of the Sterling events. With Sport, I've heard they're good. I have a BFG Vickers, which is great. I also have the brilliant Fab Defense single point. That's 15 quid, is very good. Yeah, the BFG Vickers last time I looked was 75, and then you have to buy the attachment points that are 15 quid each. So that's why I always moan it's so expensive.
Yeah.
Jamie Britt got it bang on. Gameplay style, gun type, body shape. There's a million different things that can give you a variation on gear. Wow, right. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Was it Avidity Airsoft? Richie getting a bit evil, stroking the cat. I don't need a cat to get evil, mate. I have a black heart and it beats backwards. Just an FYI.
Richie goes dark. That's how me and Richie met. It was at a ritual.
It was a pagan annual meeting.
People are going to get so upset. Okay, Castrol Gaming. Hi, Tim and Richie. What's going on? Welcome, dude. For civilian backpack with camouflage waterproof. I'd go for a civilian backpack with a camouflage waterproof cover. Good idea. Yeah. Where can I order your mod? Is the product ready to go? Do you have any video of the system? Do I install myself? Johnny Duncan, Jamie is grilling you for them details. Johnny Duncan's going to be on the zero MOSFET train for sure.
Zero hype train.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, looking to get to Milsims. But yeah, I know no one wants. Sorry, looking to get into Milsims, but no one I know wants to go. Would go into a Milsim event by yourself be a problem? No,
absolutely not.
Definitely the way to go. You're going to be put in a group of people that are like-minded, like you, turned up for the first time, that are eager to make friends, eager to work together. It's a very good thing to go on your own. Running with different people is an experiment, and it's definitely something I would recommend. It gives you a good perspective on people, for sure.
What I found is, especially with Sterling, I've been going to Sterling for many years. I've gone on my own before to various events. I've not always gone with people, but I've also seen groups of lads that have been there that have gone there on their own. And Sterling will put people together in certain groups, so they won't put all the new guys together. They'll split people up, so everyone has a slice of pie. Everyone, you're not left with a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing. And they'll put you with guys who are going to help you out, who will hold your hand if you want to, or got just a bit of guidance. So, yeah, do not worry about that at all. The only thing I would say is just make sure you're prepared to work hard, pull your weight, and just make sure your kit's on point. Obviously, any questions with kit, if you're looking to get to a Milsim, hit me and Tim up. We'll help any way we can. Obviously, Tim worked really hard, done his guide to Milsim. Check that out before we do the next one. So yeah, doesn't matter at all, mate.
No, yeah, there's a lot of information in that if you just put the playlist on in the background, have a cup of tea, you can watch all the videos in about half an hour. There's a lot in there that will help. Some of it is very basic, but other parts of it will really give you an insight onto how these Milsims work. By no means am I no expert. Richie's been around the scene way longer than I have. But I was very lucky to do it in a very intense period, about 18 months, where I just done one every single month. And really had to work very hard. And also, I didn't have an AG. I just had a sniper then and a pistol, and that was it.
But just going off the back of that, Hobbit says, for the upcoming Dark Water, Grace Lake 2, waterproof BB bag or basher?
Good question.
Quick, faffing about with basher is the last thing I want to be doing. It is a good question. Very simple answer to that. Take both.
Yeah.
I always plan for worst case. So if you imagine, without getting too far into it, guys, and boring the tits off you. So what you have is your Bergen. You will line your Bergen with your bivvy bag. Okay.
That's the way to do it.
That then makes everything in your bivvy bag waterproof. Okay. That sleeping bag. Spare clothes, batteries, nods, whatever you've got in that bag now becomes waterproof when you tie it up. So basher should be rolled up either not on the bottom of the Bergen. If I see anyone at Grace Lake with a Bergen strapped to the bottom of their bag, they'll get a kick in the nuts. So basher should be rolled on the top. But yeah, so once you're there, remove thing out. You've got your bivvy bag. Sleeping bag goes in the bivvy bag. Then you want to make some kind of, it's up to you. There's 1,001 ways you can lay your bivvy. Tim knows, we've seen Tim, Jono, we've been lots of guys who run the bashes differently.
Yeah.
But if it was me, You want the basher for any real harsh weather, and then your bivvy bag will obviously keep moisture off the ground, any condensation and stuff. So yeah, ideally both. That's my point of view.
Yeah, what Richie said about the bivvy is something that I've run a couple of times, and I've seen it been really beneficial. So was at Otterburn, won't go into too much detail, but was soaking wet grass, soaking wet ground, had everything inside my bag, which is like canvas material. It's nylon, but it will absorb water, and I stuffed everything inside my bivvy, wrapped it into a big knot at the top, pulled it into a knot, closed it, threw my bag onto the ground, went out for about, honestly, between 6 and 8 hours. I genuinely can't remember. It was a long period of time. It'd been raining. They were in, a divot, so we had put all our bags into a divot, so they weren't sort of visible. It was the only I guess it was like a golf bunker sort of thing. And we came back, and it was literally sodden with water. Everyone's bags were soaking wet. All of the kit inside their bags were soaking wet. Their food, their spare socks, their spare clothes, everything was drenched. I literally grabbed my bag up out of this sopping water, popped the bivvy bag out with everything in it, literally everything in it, and then dumped it on the side, laid my bag out on the floor with all the pockets open. It dried probably within an hour. By the time I'd brewed up, had some food, it was beginning to dry off. But everything I had was in that bivvy and dry. So there's a good use case of something that can happen to absolutely anyone, and was a really good reason. It kept my spare socks, my jacket, I can't remember the name of the top. It's like a fleece snug pack. I haven't got it anymore. I ripped it, but it was like, Richie, what do you know what it's called? The thick fleece snug pack top. It's got like a zip up.
No,
it's not a Sasquatch, but it's something else. It's something like that. But they're quite popular. You see a lot of lads with them. But yeah, if that had got wet, it'd been gobbing.
Not the softie. No, that's.
No, not a softie. It's just like a really thick, fleecy top. It's like almost fluffy, and it's just got a zippy neck. So yeah, but again, that is something that would help. Hurry up with your Milsim loadout vid. Yeah, we can definitely do some of them. TSK. So guys at TSK, sorry that it's taken me so long to get to the comment. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. Yeah, I am free tomorrow in the morning. You've got my mobile number, give me a call. Everyone else that's in the chat think, what the fuck am I on about? TSK Medical are the guys that came to see me. They are a medical company based in the UK. They teach everyone from the guys down in Poole to PMC to just anyone that you can think of that's cool. These guys teach medical procedures to. And I'm talking everything from a boo-boo on your finger to a sucking chest wound. So yeah, those guys teach everything. TSK, feel free to give me a bell tomorrow.
Yeah, these guys keep the red stuff in, stop it coming out.
They seriously do. And they're very, very good guys. We sat drinking lots of tea at my house. So yeah, it's good to see them. TSK, feel free to give me a call tomorrow morning. A lot of guys looking like they're tipping up to Grey Slate. Looking forward. If you're on PMC, if you're on Blue 4, if you're Op 4, whatever it is, let's make sure we get some time to hang out. If it's in the car park in the morning or at the end of the event, whatever it is, let's just make sure that we all get to say hi and have a group photo together. That'd be really cool. But yeah, we'll do an updated Milsim loadout video. I'm a Milsim player with not a 5-hour match like the Milsim, the last day, about the whole day. Sorry guys, I don't know if I've read that completely wrong. That last about a whole day. Oh right, okay. So he's been to a Milsim that's last, like a day, not over sort of 2 or 3 days. Guys, it's a mental thing. Just go there, enjoy it, and just press through. It's only a Milsim for me if it's a 24-hour event. Anything less is a skirmish. Jamie, yeah, 100%. I've fallen out with many businesses because I've said that, but it's true. I do believe that you have to be on the ground for a long, extended period of time to really push, and to be self-sufficient. There's loads of reasons, but I think, for a proper Milsim, you need to be self-sufficient out on the ground. You can't just run back to your car at 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
But like I say, I think, like Hobbit says, this is my first Milsim that's lasted 12 hours. I've done quite a few single day ops. I know if I am to sleep, I'll sleep ready to fight. So guys, it's not. It doesn't matter. Yes, kit helps, but the kit doesn't make the player. It's the
Definitely
attitude
don't.
that's obviously just if you've done day games or skirmishes and you want to get into it, like that's the attitude to have. Just literally knuckle down, put your chin in your chest, walk forward, punching. It's simple as that. Just fucking get in and get shit done. But yeah, obviously, if you need help or questions, if me and Tim can help, we will do. But it's not rocket science, lads.
Yeah. So a few people asking questions in regards of the training. May as well cover that now. The training's definitely happening. I know we've been saying this since February, and a lot of people have asked about it. I've had a ton of questions. It's 100% going to go forward. There's no doubt. We are pushing towards that. As to what modules we're going to call them, or classes, courses, whatever, at the moment it's going to be a green basics. Green basics will be everything from simple transition drills, mag changes, movement during fire, movement during duress, all that sort of thing. It will be basics. By no means does that mean that you're a 10-year player, a 10-month player, a 10-hour player, whatever. You can't attend. Everyone is going to learn something from that day, and they're going to go away with an experience that you're not going to get from your native field. Whether that is firing prone, whether that is firing laid sideways around awkward obstacles and angles, it's going to be you getting used to firing your weapon and manipulating your weapon in a space where you're not thinking about teammates, you're not thinking about the game, taking fire. It's just you focusing on you being a better player at the end of it. So everyone will benefit. Going on from that training, Richie, I mean, we've spoken about a hell of a lot. I mean,
we've spoken about it a lot. We've added various drills, etc. to the further modules we're going to be doing. So, like Tim says, there'll be many modules within this, and it will push forward and get slightly more advanced. I want to say advanced. It might be a walk in the park for some guys. It might be boring to you, but end of the day, what we're trying to do is like Tim says, set up an area, set up a place, a module where you can come, get to grips with your rifle, with your gear, with setup, with no, let's say, little to no stress.
Yeah.
Obviously, throughout the day, we will push the stress level, but it's about no stress, no judgment, and about you're not someone standing there pointing over you going, you should be doing that. That's not how you do this. It's just about you working the gun a little bit more comfortable. And repetition is the key with that. So there will be modules further on. Like we said, we really want to get into low light, no light nods. That will be further down the line. That will be part of it. But working around barricades, etc. There's lots of stuff we will incorporate. So cool stuff to come. But guys, it is coming. I can promise you. We've just got so much on at the moment. Like Tim says, we're always working with. We've got so many companies in the pipeline. We've got work on going at the moment. So it's mega hectic.
Yeah, I think the big thing for us, obviously, we went to Enforced TAC, which was super productive. IWA was an absolute head spin for both of us. I definitely didn't realise how intense it was going to be, and how much the businesses can suck time from you. I've been wanting to meet Jamie and Daniele for probably nearly a year, if not longer, and getting to meet them was the highlight of that time for me, as well as sitting down with businesses and they're like, we've seen your approach, we've seen your videos, we've seen the way that you speak to people, the way that you present yourself to the market. We're really impressed with this. This is what we do like. This is what we want to see more of. This is why we want to work with you. And me and Richie were like, wow, like blown away by it. So it was a really, really good learning curve for us to go there and soak that up. And I think that's kind of pushed everything else back, because I think, we expected this to go much easier. Find a site to do it, invite some people down, run some drills. We want to give the people that are there more than that. We want to give them an experience. We want people to learn. We want people to feel that they've come away as a better individual. And to do that to a group of people is very, very difficult. And you have to be confident in what you're delivering. We're looking for a place to do it. And then we're also looking for what criteria we deliver on that day and who is going to be there. You know, it's going to take the right caliber of people. It's going to take people with the right mindset as well. You know, if you come there thinking that this is all going to be a walk in the park and you can just stroll up to a stand, do your drill and walk back with not really giving a shit, you know, not pushing yourself, it's not the right person that we want there. We want people to push themselves out of their comfort zone. This is a safe, sterile environment that allows you to push yourself hard, sprint to the barrier, bring your gun up, put them shots on target, back down into cover, do that change and then get back up again. If you're making mistakes, if you're fumbling your gun, if you're fucking up essentially, that's where we want you to be. Because at that point, failure point, you know what you're doing wrong. Then at that point, either myself or Richie can interdict and we can say, look, let's bring you back 6 steps. Let's run that again. Half speed, up, in, right, yes, I see where I made my mistake. I came down too early off target, whacked that mag release, and I wasn't quite stable enough to do a clean mag change. Okay, let's bring you into that a little bit earlier, then put that button in, and then start running through the flow. Stuff like that. We're not going to tell you how to do it. We're just going to give you the opportunity to redo it so that you can learn. And that when you're running them end stages, like Richie said, under a little bit more stress, you feel more confident. Then when there's module 2, no light, low light, NVG, vehicle bound training, engaging multiple targets, working as a team, offhand shooting, awkward position shooting, as it could be called, that you're going to feel more confident. So, you know, training is about having the right mindset, coming to our training events with the correct focus. Is a big part of it, and that's what we're working on as well. It's going to happen 1,000,000%. There will be training events by us. When, we can't really say. We can just promise you this: they will be fucking awesome.
Yeah, like I say, we're really trying to nail down. You know, we've had offers, you know, from several companies and sites, whatever, to use their sites, but we're not just going to take the first one. You know, we really want to make sure that the area we're using is correct. It feels right. You know, we're going to better maximise the potential of that work area. We're not saying we need hundreds of acres. We just want to, you know, to be able to maximise the use of that space. And like Tim said, obviously, you know, it's not about us, you know, pushing you to a failure point and going, oh, you fucked up here, you've done this wrong, you know. It's just a bit of guidance, you know, to say, well, perhaps if you try this, try that, you know, we're not laying down a template, say you must run your gun like this, you must run your kit like this. We could, you know, it's an open platform, you know, everyone's a chief, you know, we're all, you know, we're all adults, we're all chiefs at the table. So likewise, we can say, you know, perhaps if you try lengthening your sling a little bit, you know, you might be able to punch your gun out further, get a bit of a steady platform. But at the same time, if you guys come up with a suggestion that actually works and we think is good, fuck it, we'll run that. You know, I've said it so many times. Every day's a school day, so like Tim says, it's coming. We're just trying to find, you know, the right place, the right time to do it. To mix it, I say time-wise, to mix in everything else that's going on. But yeah, when it happens, it'll be epic. And obviously, you know, we want to get as many of you guys, you know, not just all you regulars. We want all you regulars here. So obviously, you guys will try and get you in first. But you know, we just want to get everyone along to have a good time.
So just going through some of the comments. Brando, yes, we have got the khaki pants and Molly backpack.
Got the Molly backpack.
Molly backpack.
In the backpack. When you see the sushi lady?
Sushi lady with the casual khaki pants.
Action casual.
Action casual.
She's a friendly lady.
She's a friendly lady. Wow. Training only works if people apply themselves. Hobbit, bang on. Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah. It's exactly it. You know, we want people to go there and go ham and learn from, you know, their mistakes and give them the opportunity to run drills. I don't know any airsoft environment ever, actually, or at least active at the moment, that allows you to go there and run drills. So for me, you know, that works. I saw a team on Instagram, basically a player with the loadout that I want to build, and was wondering about that. Well, since I can buy, I'm okay. I don't understand. Richie, can you make any sense of that? GR Tomcat. How come the other site fell through? Hasn't fallen through. There's still an option to go there. The issue being is that it's a very ever-changing site, and the other concern there is that if it rains on that day, it's going to be a fucking tough environment to train on.
Yeah.
The big thing there is the conditions of the ground. We need somewhere where you guys can get a lick on. And feel safe. We don't want you to be tripping and falling and stuff like that. We want you to be able to get a move on. The idea is that you can sprint in your kit. You can get to cover, hard cover, whatever, or you can get into a firing position after, putting some stress on your body and moving at pace. And that place might be a bit difficult. Also, we want somewhere where we have the flexibility of being able to use pyro, run night drills, so on and so forth. If it ain't raining, it ain't training. Zach, dead true. We're not bothered about the weather. We just want people to be able to move and be safe. If it's thick,
the UK after all.
Yeah, thick, boggy clay mud that you've got to move through just to run some drills. It just makes it more difficult than it needs to be. We would love to come and see these events. They sound awesome, especially the MV stuff. I've gone arse over tit with my MVs more time than I'd like to admit. Training would really help me stop that. Apex Predators, 100%. I mean, we've both been in situations with MV on where we've had accidents. Richie way more than me. But yeah, it happens for sure. I've seen people bang they've got their nods on and they're not realising branches eye level. They're looking down at the ground who had their head knocked back. That happened to Jordan, a mate of ours. Went proper arse over tit in some woodland. It happens. I've
disappeared into a 6 foot ditch more than once.
Probably deeper than 6 foot. Yeah, Richie fell into a very deep hole.
It was my head height basically. So it was fucking I've stepped forward, disappeared. Basically, Tim's looked round, and I'm no longer in the stack. Everyone else is in the stack other than me. I've literally just gone straight down. So I feel your pain there, brother. Yeah.
Me and Richie are elbow to elbow pressing towards the building across open ground. And I'm like, yep, like peeling. Richie is gone, absolutely gone into a hole. So, it happens. And the other day, another thing with MV is people think you just put it on, put your laser on someone and shoot them. There is so much more to it than that. There is just so much more to it. Very small nuances of where do you hold the position? Are you hip firing? Is that stable? Are you still shooting from your shoulder? If you're running binos, are you looking down the optic? If you're running mono, do you run it on your non-dominant eye? Yeah. And then you engage up on the shoulder. There's a lot to MVD.
It's an absolute minefield, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, and this would give you the space to have a target that you can put your laser on and go, tink, tink, hear the rounds hit. Right, I'm dialed in. Move back 10 metres. Dun, dun, no rounds hit. Okay, so you know where the dial-in is on your laser. So you need to put your laser then, maybe over the left shoulder as you start coming further out. Yeah. Those sorts of things. Tomcat.
And little simple things that people forget about, when you're running IR lasers, especially at night time. So it's night time, sorry, especially through CQB environments with nods down. So, like Tim says, you got to worry about your position of your rifle. So, let's say for instance, I'm running duals, so I run mine just below sort of chin level. So then, if you're somewhere like Cope Hill Down, Stanter, etc., you're pushing up a stairwell with all those iron bars that like hand railings. Now, because you're at such a close distance, your zero distance for your IR laser is now 20 meters. It's now 5. So now you have to not only worry about height over ball, so laser back ball, you now have to be concerned with, instead of zero here, you're now here. So you have to bring your rifle up. But then because you bring your rifle up, you're now at this sort of, there's so much complexity to it.
One more
we'll cover later on in some of the later modules.
Yeah, again, me and Richie again are both quite lucky. Richie more than me again. Has spent a lot of time behind MV. I mean, a fucking lot of time. So if anyone's going to give you advice about being behind NV, I learned from Richie. He got me onto the NV game a couple of years back now. Someone said about going for a walk in them to get used to them. Yes, it definitely works.
Absolutely.
If you're like me and you run a mono, one eye's in the dark, one eye's looking through green, glowing night vision where you can see, the other eye can't. It takes your brain, I think they say, about 50 hours just for your brain to realise that it's seeing two different things. So if any of you guys wear glasses or contacts, whatever, put one contact in and then have a walk around the house and realise how weird it is. Your brain's like focus, not in focus. It really struggles. So it definitely takes some time. If you've got binos, the adoption is slightly quicker, but again, just getting used to seeing in green, trying to define your eyes are struggling for focus all the time. Is that a shadow? Is this? Am I making edge definition? You've got they're moving around as you're walking. You've got your gun. You're on comms. There's so much at that stage going on that you really, really need to then start beginning to focus and letting your eyes just focus and your brain suck everything up, plus listening to comms, keeping an eye on your team, being aware of what's going on, and then
your footing as well.
There's so much.
It's just sensory overload.
Yeah, especially when you push to the front of the stack. That's the guys I feel sorry for, because Richie was always the person at the front, at the lead of our stack, and he would be the one that's only because you had to. But that was always the case, is that he's got to suck up everything. He's got to listen to the comms to the team, keep an eye on everything that was going on in front. And if he gets lit up and we all get lit up, we'll be like, oh, for fuck's sake. There's a lot of pressure on the guys that have envy, and especially getting to use it. Definitely go for a walk with them. Definitely use them with the rest of your kit. So, put the helmet on, go for a stroll by any means. But put your helmet on, put your comms on, put all your gear on, get your rig, make sure it's not moving around, move your head around. Don't just walk around like this, because it's just nothing like what you're going to be doing on the ground.
It took me I think I was running my nods for 6 months before I realised, that by unbolting the ground adapter and moving it down by 5 mil, so basically if you look side on, so my nods, instead of being level, they were sitting like this. So I wasn't getting as good a sight pitch as what I thought. And once I went, do you know what? I just wonder if I could adjust this. I adjusted the mount, and it was like a whole new world. You got the fault, so that your vision, the eyepieces were much bigger, brighter, closer to my face. It made a massive difference. Just run your kit, put your lid on, make sure your chin strap's there, give it a good wobble. Then you could just sort of you can give it a good sort of run out. I think, where was it? Just going through some of the questions. Where is it? Mooney Game. Just a question. So for you to be running drills, is this coming from military experience or just experience? Well, let's get this straight real quick. I'm not SAS. We're not SBS. We're not even MTMS. Never served, never claimed to be. So don't get fucking twisted. Obviously, some of us, me included, have been very, very lucky in the fact that through the likes of Sterling, etc., we have trained with ex-serving SAS members, SBS, Royal Marines. We have been lucky to train with some of the UK's absolute best. However, that doesn't make us qualified or experienced. We just enjoy shooting. We enjoy getting better at shooting, and I think that's where we'll leave that. I think.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. We get asked this a lot. Well, if you're going to teach people, you need to come from this experience. And I totally, I agree that, I think that there's guys out there that have spent hundreds, if not thousands of hours behind a rifle, and they're probably in a more of an inclined place to teach people, but they're not, and they're not choosing to, and we are. And the key thing about this is not to come and be taught. The key thing about this whole idea of training is for you to come and have a safe, clean, clinical environment to run drills. That's really what we're offering. We're not offering, you will leave here instructor zero. What we're saying is you will leave here with a better understanding of your skill set. And that is because we're going to provide you the obstacle course to run through. That's clearly what this is about. And we did get asked this a lot. At the same time, I've done quite a few events with a few lads that are mil, ex-mil, serving, whatever. And to be honest, they've been shit. And have not... True fact. It is what it is. Whether they didn't want to do the event, they didn't want to do the weekend, they just haven't been really that fussed about it. So, their skill set for me has been a bit like, well... and then you've got other people out there within this sort of training ecosystem. Lucas from T-Rex Arms, yes, Grand Thumb served, but a lot of his has been around training. Instructor Zero served for a long period of time, but his key thing has been about training. You find these guys that are 3-gun shooters from the US. You can learn a lot from those guys if you're surfing around YouTube. A lot of these guys that are really key on firearms manipulation and training haven't served. They're just keen shooters. They're just interested and focused on being a better shooter. And that's where I think we come in. So, we're both keen shooters. We love Airsoft. We love the platform. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, sorry, dude. No, like I say, it's just a question. If the passion is there, you want to do it and you want to get better at it. Like I say, a lot of people, we get a lot of, negative comments about, if this was a real firefight, or if that was a real gun, just fuck off and get in the sea. Let's face it, it's a lot of people, get it twisted with airsoft and real guns. Yes, let's face it, that's what we do. We dress up, we run around with, what we like to feel are real guns. We imitate this to as much as we can, but at the same time, you have to realise, airsoft, the technology is not there to have real engagement distances. So when it comes to actual weapons manipulation, putting around on target, etc., airsoft as a technology is very limited. So we can't. There's certain things we can imitate. We can imitate 99%, but when someone says, "Oh, well, you've got to stand on this hard cover, blah blah," around, go through that. It's airsoft. Yes, still be mindful of bangs and stuff. So yeah. Mooney game, dude. No, that's fine. Wasn't aimed at you. I know it was a question. Obviously, we do get a lot of stick from being pokey airsofters on YouTube. So wasn't aimed at you, mate. Thank you for the question. We just want to clear that up for a lot of haters there.
Yeah, again, we get that a lot. So Mooney game again, no issue there at all. I think where airsoft is a massive benefit in training is definitely CQB. These weapons react well, and if you get you get hit within 6, 10, 12 feet, or the average room is 3x3, I think they were saying. That's it. Again, Buck Todger just put in about Travis Haley. He's a massive advocate for CQB training only because of the fact that with non or semi-ballistic rounds or soft rounds, that you could still get hematomas from them. Being able to play with or train with airsoft, CQB, they're perfect for training. I think this is what we're talking about. We're talking about close engagement. There's no reason to shoot off your left shoulder if you're shooting 60 metres. But if you're in a tight CQB scenario, me and Richie played at the barracks before it closed up, super, super tight. Some of those rooms are only 1.5 meters deep. So if you're breaching a corner and you're coming around, you want to get shots on someone, you want to be confident about hitting that room hard, this is the perfect way of doing it. Again, I don't believe you need to be military. If you're ex-SAS and you've spent 3 years in a kill house, yes, you're going to be very, very good at this and in an inclined position to teach people. But I think, we've been in a lot of situations and scenarios that have taught us stuff ourselves. So, if Buck, you turn up and say, Tim, do you know what? Try shooting this way, and it's better than I've ever done before, then I'm on it. That's the new way. Richie's taught me this. saying, every time it comes up, every day is a school day. So I'm always looking to learn. That's another reason to do these events. One of the other reasons is we want to hang out with you lot. We want, Buck and Jamie and Hobbit and Nick Mantle and Charlie and all these other guys that we speak to in this format all the time to come and hang out with us. Yeah. We want to see you. We want to be in front of you. We want to talk and communicate. We want to get to know you guys. And this is a really good opportunity to do it. Turn up, run some drills, do some training, hang out at the end of the day and have a beer. It's perfect.
I mean, just on that note, mate, like I say, a big shout out to Nick Mantle. I saw him running the shotgun on the range the other day, mate. That was hard and fast, mate. That was awesome. So props for that, dude.
Yeah, Nick goes in with the shotgun, mate, for sure. Their mags in it though look gnarly. They're like big fucking killer mags. Yeah. Nick, thanks for having you in here. Yeah, look super good. Again, training. It's training. Enthusiasm and willing to learn. Yeah, it trumps everything.
Just real quick, Buck, I know you mentioned the site earlier on, dude. If you can DM me with that, mate, we'll get chatting. We'll have a chat. Do you know what? Tim, please tell me you just read Hobbit's comment.
I did, yeah. I was about to bite, but I decided not to.
Mate, I was just about to chime in on that.
I think Hobbit's bang right. I think there's a lot of females that jump in this sport for the attention and not for the effort of putting in and enjoying the event. At the end of the day, this is about fun. Whether you choose to enjoy this sport by dressing as a Jedi and fucking using a Halo gun or whatever, then fine. But by all means, that's cool. I've no issue with it. Just, it's just not the realm that me and Richie sit in. And what we enjoy, we like the Milsim, we like the graft, we like to put the effort in. We're very keen on the 4 o'clock in the morning when people can't be asked to go out and it's raining and there's an opportunity that you're going to go and smash an empty building. We're normally the guys that go and do it. There's no bullshit there at all. It's not blowing a horn. It's not trying to make us sound cool. That's just the sort of things that we're into.
Like I say, I think, there's people out there that, and I'm not naming any names, just in general, just that will buy, a Cry CPC for, I don't know, whatever it is, £600, whatever, on AVS, head to toe in Cry, all this kit. But, you get them on the playing field and they won't get any lower than a knee because they don't want to get the kit dirty.
Yeah.
I've said before that, I think I had just bought my Spiritus rig, and I had to crawl through about, 18 foot of mud to get low, grab a guy's ankle to medic him back in. And I was going, and when I got up, well, obviously my brand new Spiritus rig was smothered. And dude, your rig. I was like, I don't give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit of Cordura. It does the job.
Yeah.
So in that same breath, like Hobbit, I've seen pictures of Hobbit, literally on a belt buckle with this fucking Mark 46 with almost 1,000-yard stare, literally just about to lay some fucking hate. And I love that, whereas you got other people, other females in the sport, should we say, covered head to toe in fucking pink shit, hand on hip, posing with a gun, trying to be all sexy. I'm like, if that's your bag, cool. It's not mine. Sorry, just, It
might entertain a 14-year-old that, wants to see a girl with a gun, but I don't know. There's a whole side of me that has a bit of a drive with it. At the end of the day, if any of you guys have ever checked out the Hot Shots calendar, it's a different kettle of fish. But, to do that day to day in with all of the, the standard events, you turn up to an event and, you're head to toe in pink bunches and all that crap. It is what it is. At the end of the day, I seem to surround myself and be involved with people that are grafters, that go to events to fucking smash people to bits. We go there as a group to be better than the opposition, to be better drills, to run, ourselves, admin, comms, navigation. The way that we compose ourselves is to be better than everyone else. That's where the training comes in, admin, everything. It's about going there and being on point where people leave and go, those guys are fucking sick. That's what I want. That's the attitude. And I like going up against people like that. You know, the 67 lads, when they're out training, running drills, when they were up doing all the stuff at Northern Alliance, I thought, man, those guys are like, they're having it up. The opportunity to run with them was another great thing. But at the same time, I respect them because they're doing that. And that's where probably half of the community that are out there, as well as the majority of our community of people that follow the channel, are interested in that. They're guys that want to train, they want to have good kit, they want to have reliable kit, they want to go and do events where they're pushing themselves and, push into that next level of being able to accomplish things. And for me, it's awesome.
I mean, so like just to put it in context, we with some other lads, we run a pistol only course, indoor, similar sort of thing to what we're going to do, but with longs, it was pistols only, so it was like, transitions, mag change, mag change with one arm, one arm disabled, all the sort of regular sort of stuff you do. Now that was about 8 years ago, and one of the key things we tried to drum into people was that airsoft. People play airsoft on a Sunday, right? So they get in on a Sunday, they unload their BBs, they put their mags away, put their batteries away, put their guns away. They don't pick that shit up till the following Saturday, where they batteries, load mags. Everyone thinks that airsoft is just on a Sunday. No, like the 67 lads, they took a weekend out, went up, running training all day, all night. Midweek. Clean your guns, check your mags. I think like Jamie Britt said, it's not a Milsim unless you break something, and that's it's airsoft stuff. It's going to break. So keep on top of it. Oil your mags if they're gas. Clean your barrels. Just be, I don't know, not saying you've got to be, over the top or OCD with it, but just, a bit of admin to it, get into it. Bit of commitment, I'd say.
Yeah. I think that's what drives apart like your everyday skirmisher, and then the people that are out there to try and do the Milsims, or they want to go to Milsims, or they're like pushing themselves on. You see the difference in the play out on the ground, and we saw it this weekend from a few lads. They're at the back of the stack, they're lent out of a tree, pot shotting. They're going to hit 1 in 50 shots maybe from where they are. And then you've got the other guys looking about, understanding their situational awareness, watching the line drive forward, seeing who's around them, moving from cover, making sure that there's people shooting while they're moving, getting into good positions. I see it from some young lad this weekend. Me and Richie saw it. He only had a pistol. He was going ham. He was medicing people. He was getting in behind cover. He was waiting for people to shoot before he moved. That is someone that will drive themselves. I've always had this, not issue, but I've always been really clear that I'm all about Milsim, and it was purely because that skirmisher life is just not for me. I just want to throw my kit in the boot, fuck it, it's dirty and covered in shit, no worry about it. I'll get it next Sunday and just wipe it down, in the safe zone, make sure it fires and take it out. So after Sunday, I had Monday chilling, Tuesday I think I phoned Richie, had the upper off for 416, haven't used it in a while. Cleaned all the barrel out, made sure it was all good, squared all my batteries away, just checked them all with a voltmeter, just prepping my kit, getting it back into all of its boxes, putting everything back in place, knowing that the next prep I'm going to be doing, which starts this weekend, is for the 36-hour event with Sterling. It's a very tested event. It's very hard on your equipment, especially your night vision, especially your go-to guns, your hard pyro, all that sort of thing. It's a real big test. So I want to make sure that I'm in line, ready for that,
It's like you said, Tim, obviously we came back from Dartmoor on Sunday, and, basically both guns were throwing up fault codes. So I was like, okay, don't know, not sure what it is. They both stopped working. So that's where I got the MP7 out. Anyway, like you say, first thing on Monday evening, plugged them into the laptop, fired up the gate program, went through all the diagnostics, the fault codes, went through battery voltages, temperatures, make sure everything was running fine. Turns out, all three batteries were fucked. And in retrospect, they are very old. And I believe that our trip to the trees with Sterling, when it was like -8, -10, I think it just killed them. So I think we just, one of them things, all three batteries died. But, again, you look into it, you look after your guns, look after your kit.
Yeah.
It's gonna pay dividends in the end, because if you don't check your kit, you get it out on the following Sunday, you pull a pommes frites, it's a bad day in Dodge.
Richie, definitely a question for you about the comms. It says, I do love a good scrap at a Milsim, but does anyone else enjoy comms as much as I do? When I go to a Milsim with a solid command net where I can really use my 152s, I really enjoy them.
Yes, absolutely, mate. Yeah, Apex Predator. I think I jacked off, mate, to one of your pictures. I think. If you're like me, mate, you love dual comms. I love a dual comm setup. It's something about that solid communication, solid, clear, crisp, precise communication, backwards and forwards between you and Zero, you and your squad. Just that we've been referred to before. I'm sure you've probably had it as an airsoft tactician. You're moving all these pieces in place. You're firing out grids as to where you are, firing out grid references as to where the op 4 are. You're firing intel back. It's I think it's a very niche market, but when it goes well, mate, it's very enjoyable.
So Jamie was saying about. Sorry, Richie, go on.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, I guess it's just the same as like you, team. When you get what's his name? The sniper guy.
Kicking Mustang.
That's it. When you really get into a role like that, like sniping or comms, JTACs, CCTs. I think it's when you find your niche, I think.
Yeah, I've still got a massive attachment. It ties right into what Jamie was saying. He says, how many hours have we spent zeroing scopes and dots and stuff like that? My last sniper, the HPA one, I didn't actually spend that much time because it was just ridiculously dialed in. But the gun prior to that was apart genuinely probably 2 or 3 times a week. And I used to shoot out to, it was 66 meters, and even in like 15, 20 mile an hour winds, and this is up off the ground, so 3 stories off the ground, it used to hit a television aerial pole, that gun, and I used to dial in shot after shot after shot. The house's back garden must have had thousands of Mad Ball BBs in it, because I just used to spend all the time, and I'd take the scope off, and I'd redo the mounts, and I'd reseat it. Honestly, hundreds and hundreds of hours, especially with the sniper. I'd always want to make sure that if there was wind or a holdover or a drop off, or I could see a breeze, that I could genuinely understand where the BB was going to go at all times. So I think that's part and parcel of enjoying a role. I think there's still a big attachment for me to go and do some sniping, but at the same time, to run as an efficient team, especially with Richie and the rest of the guys that I need to, and the sites that we get to go to, sniping's just not a part of it.
No, not
really.
The area of operations as far as like airsoft sites today have definitely changed in the past 3 years massively. It's just not that demand for it as much. Just going through the comments real quick. Peter Curtis, what's happening, dude? Hope you're good. I'll give a cat high five for you. There we go. But good point. He says here, when you spend, the money you like to make sure the kit's nice, you need to make sure it's good to go for next time. Because let's face it, we spent a lot of money on kit, a lot of money on the games. £90 for a game fee, and you turn up and your gun stops working because you haven't charged the battery properly, or you've left the spring half cocked back or something. It's just, you spend a lot of money doing this sport, no one can deny that. You just got to make sure it's, you're on top of things.
Yeah, I think, we've seen that. I mean, we've seen people that have turned up to an event that, not with me, running with me personally, but running with you boys, and not had batteries charged. It's crazy.
I was
Again,
going to say, I think just going, I think it was Jamie Britt. How many hours have you spent zeroing scopes and dots? Oh, mate. Do you know what? Like, if I'm honest with you, not that long. I've been very lucky in the fact that obviously with my IR, my pick box, it's a very positive click for the IR, for the laser and the illuminator. A couple of clicks, it's got a very positive movement. Same with the vortex scopes. When Tim saw it when my Sky Heavy died at the trees.
yeah.
Stop the optic, just a couple of clicks, for windage and elevation, and boom, it's good to go. So I guess it comes down to what sort of laser designators and scopes you're using, I guess.
Yeah, it's spending that time just making sure that it's dialed in, especially for your own eye. Like not everyone's weld and eye position and everything is the same. So, my key thing is when I get a scope on it 0 to centre, I always have a little bit of a play just to make sure it's bang on. And I always recheck. So the week leading up to an event, I'm normally in the garden about 11 o'clock at night, in the dark. Put a target down with a little IR reflector on it, and then I run run 5 shots, see where they're grouping in comparison to the IR dot, and then I make my adjustments just to make sure that they are on point. And so far I've been quite lucky. The last real good night event for me and Richie was Dark Water, the first grey slate, and nighttime was Slaughter. For both of us, we were hitting some incredibly accurate shots at good distances. So. Yeah, it's crazy. People talking about radio, said the endless chatter. I think with us lot, we don't really talk that much. We've got a very small group of guys that have been running together for a long time, so it's normally quiet.
And unless you're genuinely having a bit of a giggle, and you're on the wind up, the comms is pretty clear. To be fair, Hobbit, I still haven't ever run my comms. It's bad drills. Do you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to call you out on this. Why are you running peltors if you're not running comms?
That's true. You go.
I'm just joking.
Ear protection, maybe, but
trees, wouldn't it? Without running comms, mate, it's a massive disadvantage. Huge.
Yeah, you need to constantly communicate, especially in tight firefights, CQB, for the look. Hobby, you need to get on them drills, get the rest of your team talking to one another. When you start running tight CQB or you hit another call sign, especially an organised call sign, which I think maybe, when I know that, Sterling might be a little while away, but when you do go up against an organised team, you need to communicate, you need to talk and understand where the rest of your team is, what they're seeing, what they're observing, everything like that. So, for the look, but fair one. No one ever wanted to link up with me on Milsims. Hobbit, we need to get you down to a Sterling, just run with us, Scott. It's no drama.
Yeah. Go hard in the motherfucking paint.
We go hard in the fucking paint. So yeah, Hobbit, don't worry, you can bounce down to one with us. Big hello from Nova Scotia, Canada. Awesome. Yeah. Airsoft Commando TV. Welcome, mate. Welcome. Dad's GBLS airsoft rifle. I'm thinking about getting one for my next Milsim event. Oh, I don't know, Johnny Duncan. I spoke to the guys over at DAS, and I know a few people that were sent them, including Airsoft Mike and Matt the Musketeer, and they was not impressed. Apparently, the two-piece gearbox overspins or some. I can't remember exactly what it was, but they weren't great. And then they sent out a V2 free upgrade kit for everyone that had them. And again, there were some problems. That's why they're not so popular at all. What do you think of Russian gear?
What do you think of Russian gear?
Good question. Go on, Richie.
So, Mantis Gaming, please comment, mate. When you mean Russian gear, are you talking like loadouts wise?
AKs.
I think something's growing on me. I mean, the Spetsnaz beta, massive fan. I'd pick one up tomorrow if I had the money. But I know some of the FSB guys, like we're talking like real steel here. Yeah. Some of the fucking FSBs or Spetsnaz guys that work in like overseas, some of their kit is fucking spot on. It's as good as, if not better than some of the CAG Delta guys. AKs, mate. Yeah, definitely. For me, the tactical AKs, the betas and stuff, Top
Yeah.
pick.
I've got a couple of TMAKs here, the recall version, and I've also got the folding stock version as well. Haven't run them out yet, but they look alley as fuck. If you're into your AKs, they're probably the best AKs I've seen. Nathan Cottenham, Richie, can we have a more in-depth video for comms? Had some issues with our UVR5s. Some of us could hear each other and some of us couldn't.
I'm going to take a stab in the dark. Have you checked your CT CSS? So that is your sub channel. Just check that, mate, because make sure your sub frequency. So you might be 446 6125 for your main channel, but your sub channel through your menus will be 233 or 156. But you have to make sure your send, so your T, which is transmit CTCSS, and your R, which is your receive CTCSS, they have to be on the same. So if you imagine it, you have to send and receive on the same frequency. Otherwise, you'll have outgoing comms but not incoming, and vice versa, if that makes sense. But yeah, dude, if you keep having any problems, give us a shout, and I can PM me. I can run through stuff with you.
Yeah. Right, guys, we are a little bit over, like an hour over our allotted time slot. So if any of you do have any questions, please fire them in now. Richie's getting on the biz. So I'm dry as a fish without any water in its bowl. So yeah, guys, if you do have any questions, please sling them in now. We will take care of these questions. Then we will have to bounce. If anyone wants to add another crazy super chat, please feel free to do that. It can be as offensive as you like. We're not that fussed.
Yeah, Hobbit, spot on. Some PTTs are not compatible with the Baofangs. It's normally that the fact that your repro headsets aren't compatible with real steel PTTs and radios. But it's definitely something to look into. Peter Curtis, looking forward to Grey Slate 2 after missing the first one. Yes, mate. I really hope, and I'm sure it will be as good as the first one. Well, it won't be, because me and Tim basically fucking cleaned up at night time. So, but looking forward to it, mate. I think there's, Grey Slate 2, there's a lot of, how can I put it, new people to the Milsim community, but are very well versed in the skirmish community.
Yeah.
And I'm talking the high-end skirmish community. So there's a lot of names that I've seen, floating about and fucking go hard on the skirmish day. So I think, mate, we're in for some real good tear-ups, I think.
Yeah, there's going to be some solid tear-ups.
Yeah. JJ Actual, sorry, dude, I did see your message earlier. Are we planning on doing any real steel training?
Yes.
You know what? I'm going to say yes. It's more of a want than a need, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'd love to do it, but at the moment it's not on our priority list, dude. At the moment.
No, it's just fitting it in. There's 2 companies that want to do it with us.
Yeah.
We can't mention either of them. Shit. Sorry, guys.
Just dreams.
Yeah, I really nearly put my foot in my arse then. Definitely can't talk about one of the businesses for sure. But there is some companies that have offered it to us. It's just fitting it in. Time for me and Richie is super, super tight. So that's the big issue. The key thing for us is to get the training off the ground. We will see you on the other side through my NVs. Come on, Peter, let's have it up, son.
So, Peter, are you up for then? Don't do this to me, dude. Mate, after all this time.
Peter Curtis doesn't love us. That's what it is.
Doesn't love us anymore. That's what it is, yeah.
You're just going to hear a 4-stroke. That's all you're going to hear all weekend.
You're going to see the world's first ever drive-by 40 mic kill.
That's it.
You're going to see.
Firing tags from a pit bike.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, it'd be good to catch up, mate.
What do you think of the new GMP Transformers? I've seen it, with the swappable uppers. Still a GMP, in my opinion. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm just not a fan. I had one, modified it to death, and it was still dog shit. So I'm bitter about GMP. Should I take my Tokyo Marui 416D? What would you suggest? I want to buy one more gun and stick to that. I'm playing Milsim now.
Mate, always have a backup. always.
Get a 416 and then get like a long gun. So get a Scar H or get the Scar L or get an
This,
M4,
mate.
an M4 with a 29-inch rail on it.
Yeah. Or get yourself something like this.
Look at that scope though. Look at that UH1. Come on.
Yeah, mate. So I would honestly suggest, if you've got a 416D, maybe get yourself like almost like a DMR or like a range gun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like something that's, I don't know, something a bit different, but you can still run the same mags with. Because that's what I found is if you can run proprietary mags for both guns, if one gun dies,
Yeah.
you're not changing setups, you're just changing the gun and not your whole rig.
I'm down for that, mate. That's why I've got the Scar L and not the H. Selling my modified TM Scar L. Hate it. Don of Bond, what is going on?
Why?
I wonder if that's Timothy Schofield. Looks like his logo. Can't remember. But don't know why you'd sell a Scar H. Absolute crazy, man. Coming down for the weekend. Got to help the Op 4, Peter Curtis. I'm going to kidnap you.
We're going to kidnap you and keep you for ourselves.
We're gonna lock you up in our bondage tent. Riff, paint or no paint?
Come down to Brighton for a weekend, but not in a gay way. I'm glad you cleared that up, although I would not have said no the first time round.
Yeah, we're not fussed. We're not fussy. Okay, getting through these. Riff, paint or no paint?
Buck, as if you need to ask that question, dude. This is absolutely the need to paint is real. You have to do it.
Nope. Look how shiny it is. Dun dun dun. Not a bit of dust inside. I clean it with polish.
Look how shiny that is.
Look at that. Shinier than my head.
Mate, you could put that back in the box and send it back for a refund.
Oh, 100%.
It's that clean.
Yeah, totally down to you. I get told to paint my guns all the time, but I won't.
Yeah.
It's the anarchist in me. Peter Curtis, still love you guys. Ugg boot, for sure. I will bring the lube. No, don't bring lube. I want it dry. Okay, any holes to go from Hobbit?
Mate, Hobbit, pulse, at this point, a pulse is optional, okay?
That bit, just in there. Just in there. This has got so weird. Sorry, everyone. Your opinions on the Echo 1 or SR25 DMR. An SR12 is really cool, but I don't know about Echo 1. Not a brand I've come across very often.
I have heard of Echo 1. I've not got my hands on one. But for me, the SR25 platform is pretty fucking cool. I do like that. Bit of soft spot for that.
Yeah, I can't think of the guy's name, but he's wrote a book, a sniper book. Someone will know it in the comments. Black guy used an SR25, killed a shit ton of people. I can't remember his name. It will come to me. Going dry, that way they know that you've been there.
Or
this is going to get really dark. I'm not saying anything.
Or just throw a bag of talcum powder, throw a bag of flour on and find a wet spot. That's the home run right there.
I was going to say write your name on their back.
Echo 1, Gary. Echo 1 is Cybergun rebranded. Okay, that's interesting. I had a Cybergun 249 once. Do you know what? It was all right. It was all right.
Johnny Duncan, what two guns? What two guns do you take to your Milsim events? I take this for CQB, and then I take my Scar L for patrolling and rural and all that sort of stuff. It really depends on the event, whatever into the setup that I run. If I'm running the 416 in like a big urban site, I will run a suppressor on it as well. To bring the noise off, and also if you're shooting building to building, you've got a suppressor on it, can really dull down the recoil noise. But yeah, they're the two that I run.
Yeah, for me, like Tim says, And guys, I do want to try and do a video on this, try and give you a breakdown, but we'll do it real quick here. So for me, on a Milsim, I'll take this, my M4. As you can see, this has got the long upper on it. So this will be for sort of woodland, rural areas. And then of a night time, or if we're doing sort of like what sort of building to building, I'll drop off, have a short, sort of like 7 to 9 inch, I think spiked to call, CQB, PPR, sort of like length run, short barreled rifle. I'll run night time / urban. Similar to Tim, my Scar with backup way. Your mags are the same. I'm not set up, so it's the same mags for both guns.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much what we run. Again, it really does depend on the event and the type of taskings. We normally have a good heads up of what's going on. Richie, is that build of a TM base or another brand?
That's a negative Ghost Rider. This is a VFC base. I've had this for donkey's years, so I've upgraded the tits out of this. It basically has had everything.
Everything you can modify is done.
High speed gear set, high torque motor, short stroke trigger pull, gate Titan, fucking MOSFET in it, mad ball, tight bore, and hop. This thing is when it runs, it's fucking insane. So I'm the king of upgraded guns. Charlie, stop trying to intel. If you could kind of get in the fucking sea, that'd be great.
Tim, does your Scar suppressor ring like a tuning fork? No. It just screams. It howls at my enemies. Why UFC, VFC, yuck. Problem is, you'll know where I am because I can hear my recoil Scar H. Yeah, mate, I love it. Do you know what? I love shooting out with people that have got recoils. Could you hear that? Ting, 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 ting. Love it. Found out Vortex warranty will cover if you paint their scopes. Yeah, they do, yeah. Guys, also, just a quick thing about Vortex. Brand new optic from them is called the Crossfire. Please head over to their page on Instagram, and a brand spanking new one of them's been shot out. They replaced. Do you see that? And they've also replaced it before the guy sent the old one back.
Really?
Alias.
Yeah, mate. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So try and hold Raven. You guys not planning on running the same mags, etc. Obviously, at the moment, I run just standard AG mags because this is a VFC. And you are correct. This is Gary. This is basically a VFC shell. I think the gearbox housing is still VFC, but that's about it.
Yeah.
The Scar-L is a G&G, but same thing. It's G&G body, G&G gearbox, but that is it. Again, G&G, everyone's going to go, it's shit. Let me put it this way, okay? I fell off of a 4-foot rock at Spain, okay? I landed on my G&G Scar-L with my full plate carrier, 3 mags. I basically, the bolt release catch, I bent that so hard into the body. But the rest of it was fine. So big shout out to G&G for their build quality and their bodies. I was quite impressed.
Although Richie's innards are made of styrofoam, so if there's a really strong wind, sometimes he floats away. So it might be that.
Yeah.
Right, guys. G&G Hall. Jamie going in ham on G&G.
Jamie, mate, I love you, but me and you fall out real quick.
Gary saying he's got 12 G&Gs, absolutely loves them.
Well,
so it is what it is. Yeah, 12 is a killer number. Right, guys, it's over the 2-hour mark. We were going to do an hour. We're going to get the hell out of here. Guys, thank you so much for joining us, especially for such a long period of time. We do really, really appreciate all the support, on our media, on the channel, on our videos, absolutely everything. So really, really do appreciate it.
massive shout out to, like, not just the regulars, like Buck, Jamie, Hobbit, Peter Curtis, all the regular guys. Thank you. All the new guys that are coming in. Daniele, thank you for tuning in, my friend. Thank you. So yeah, like Tim said, we really appreciate all the support. Just comment, good, bad. Well, not the bad, but so yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. It's been awesome. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, if there is something that you want us to cover on the next video, please feel free to put it in there. We will try and do sort of half an hour, 40 minutes on a particular subject, and then we'll just free ball it into the comments and try and keep up with you guys. Really good stats for tonight. Looks like we've had 0.6 frame weights drop tonight. So really, really good stats as well. So 99.4 up, which is really, really good for us as well. So it looks like the stream's gone well. Thank you so much to everyone. We are going to bounce, and yeah, thanks again, guys. We'll see you all soon.
Awesome.
Bye.
Au revoir.